Push the sucker right up close. 3, 2, 1. And we're live. What's happening, man? How are you?
I'm cool, man. Up here in LA.
It's nice
weather.
to meet you in person. I've seen you in magazines.
Yep.
I've seen you since, man, like when did you first burst onto the bodybuilding scene? What year was that?
I was reminiscing today. First time I came out here was 1990 to Gold's Gym. So I came from UK to do my first professional bodybuilding contest. It was called Night of Champions in New York. And I got second place there and made a real big impact. And the Weeder company that used to be based out here with the Flex magazine and Muscle and Fitness and
They're
all
right
that
down the
stuff.
street.
They used to be. I don't think they are anymore.
No, it's all closed down. Now.
Yeah.
There's a fence around it and everything, but that's less than a mile away from here.
Yeah, the Weeder offices are out there, and you know, Weeder was a big name in bodybuilding, the magazines and everything. So they flew me out here, did my first photo shoot at Gold's Gym, 1990. So yeah, 27 years ago.
Man, I remember watching you in those magazines. You were the first guy. Well, you weren't the first guy, but you were one of the first guys that I ever saw in a magazine that I was like, "Gee, how the fuck is that a person?" You were so big, man.
Well,
Jesus Christ, you were big.
That's funny because I look back at some of the pictures now of me and I say, "What the fuck?" You know.
Well, you were going for it.
It's extreme. It's and I came into the sport and I wanted to see what I could do. I wanted to like take it as far as I could take it, you know?
Well, you represented to me as an outsider looking in this insane determination. You know, like I felt like all the best guys, whether it was Arnold or you or Lee Haney, all the top guys, they always represented not just like the biggest and the most profoundly, ridiculously muscular bodybuilders, but also this extreme dedication that was required to reach that level.
Well, you know, you've been around, man. You with martial arts and everything. Any kind of sport is the same thing. What separates the guy that's first from second, from third, or whatever? You know, you all got certain physical characteristics that help you in your sport and so on. So you're all gifted up there. So what can separate the guy from first and second and third? It's all up there. That's the key. How
did you develop your mindset? Was that something that you always had, or was it something that you developed as you were training?
I think it's something I already had, and I kind of left home when I was 16, so I was out on my own on the street, and you know, you're either going to get smart and you know, look after yourself, or you're going to fall down. There's nobody there to catch me. So that was there from an early age, I think. And I was just very determined to do this thing that I felt I could be good at in order to change my life and change, you know, the projection of my life, the people around me. I grew up on a housing estate in UK. I had no education. I was in a jail when I was 18. So I had all that. That was, you know, the people around me, I was like, I didn't want part of that future. I wanted to do something else, and I got this thing that I was good at, so I'm going to take it and run with it, you know?
It's crazy how many people have similar stories like that, where they were in just a terrible environment, and they realized that they had to toughen up, they had to smarten up, and they had to get out of there. And if not for those terrible situations, who knows if they would have ever reached the levels of greatness that they did.
I can tell you, from my point of view, I don't think I would have done, because I would be too comfortable.
Right.
If you're comfortable, you're not going to put yourself through that extreme kind of pressure and pain. And, you know, I wanted to improve my life, change my life. And through the sport, here I am sitting, talking to you on this show. People are listening to me. I've been all around the world thanks to my sport. So it's been great for me, you know.
When you meet current bodybuilders, are they like, hey, man, what the fuck? How come you're not a gigantic, huge Mr. Hulk anymore? You're a regular-sized, athletic-looking dude.
Yeah. Not really. Maybe some of the younger guys that are coming into this now, but you know, people know me. I was a professional bodybuilder. That's what I did, and I was the best at doing that. But that kind of training and that kind of physique is not going to serve me now.
Right.
So I do training to be more functional. My goals are more health related now. Whereas before I was a young guy and I wanted to be the best at this thing I was doing. I put everything into that. But you know, that kind of physique's not practical for everyday usage, you know? I couldn't hardly tie my shoelaces when I was 300 pounds.
Oh, I'm sure, man. And how tall are you? Like 5'10"?
5'11", yeah.
5'11". So, like, when you were that big, you were just a ball of muscle, just a mass.
Yeah, and
300 pounds.
I was 300, 310 in the off-season.
Jesus Christ.
Competing 265, but I mean 265 lean as fuck, dehydrated, you know, shredded. So, yeah.
God.
That's That's all I did. That was all I did. I trained, I ate, I sleep, I studied. That's just
And
all
what do you
my
weigh
mental
now?
focus was like lasered on that thing that I was doing, nothing else. I wouldn't go to the movies, I wouldn't go to dinner if I got home after 11 because I got to be in bed at 11. That was,
Wow.
you know, that was the regime that I lived for many years, and that's why I was able to beat other people that maybe it could be argued they were more gifted than me, but they weren't willing to do that. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what I had always read about you, and that's what like I said, that was like the impression that I always got. Like what you represented is the pinnacle of extreme dedication.
Yeah, and study. You know, we had no internet then. Everybody's got coaches now and nutritionists. The thing that appealed to me is this was an individual thing. I had to learn about the training, had to learn about the nutrition, had to learn all this stuff myself, and that was. Apart from the training, that was part of it as well. The learning part of it I enjoyed.
Was it hard to get good information? Because I'm sure there's a bunch of like gym experts. There's always these bro science guys that are hanging around giving you shitty advice. Like, how hard was it to get the proper information when it came to training?
I kind of sifted through it and was very influenced by a guy called Arthur Jones. Don't know if you've heard of him, but Arthur Jones, he invented the Nautilus machines. And this guy was like a billionaire, self-made billionaire. He just was fascinated with bodybuilding, but had no business interest in it. So he just wanted to, he studied it and it was like, what is it that causes muscle growth? What is it? And he found it was the intensity of exercise. And then there was another bodybuilder, Mike Mensa, who went to compete in the Mr. Olympia, won the Mr. Universe. He took those principles and he used them. So I read all this stuff and it was very logical. It made sense. And then I tried it out in the gym. And it worked in the gym. And if I trained more often, or if I did more in the gym, my progress would slow down or it would stop. As soon as I cut back and I made the workout shorter and more intense, my progress went. So for me, it was pretty early on I learned how to train properly. And that's why I was competing. I competed in a world championship after 18 months training, which is pretty much unheard of.